I'm just kind of waiting for Kelvin to join the live and then we are going to start. I already sent him an invite like 2 seconds ago. Kelvin, if you're there, can you kindly come on, please? Okay, I already invited him. I'm just waiting for him to join. Okay. Why can't Kelvin join? Oh, Kelvin, why can't you join? Kelvin, I just sent you an invite now. Kindly check. I sent you an Hi. I was wondering what was going on when he said Kelvin can't join. I was like, the last.
No, I saw it, and I was reading a book, so I just wanted to read the final line before I stop, and then and then I come inside. Yeah.
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. A bit tired, but not tired like, oh, you're working too hard, tired. But it's more like, there's some days you are more like relaxed, tired. I don't know. You feel
Okay,
like you don't want to do nothing.
yeah, you just want to be in bed all day, like just
That
read a
that
book and
kind that kind of feeling, but
okay.
but I need to wake up. I need to get ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's get this
Also,
topic going.
also, before we got into this, DHL hasn't delivered my goods yet.
Okay, do you know what? Don't worry.
Maybe
It
you need
will
to give them a call tomorrow morning.
personally be delivered. Personally,
Personal
if
delivery. Okay, okay, you said that. Okay, no problem. All
they
right.
Oh my God. How are you? Like, actually, how are you?
I'm good. Like everything. I mean, when I started this show, like it was all about. Sometimes I'm having a doubt, like, are people gonna come? Are people willing to participate? But as time goes on, like I feel like for me, it's growing, and also I see a future in what I'm doing. So that's why I just keep doing it. And no, like they used to say, Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm pretty sure one day it's definitely gonna be there. So that's just my goal for now.
Wow. Wow. I 100% support like what you're doing. I think is something that is needed, especially the black community, the minority community. We need platforms like these. We need a lot of our youth to kind of like speak up and find different channels to get their voices to be heard, or to inviting young people for these type of discussions, because it's not we don't get this type of representation a lot. So it's about time we create our own space where we can do that. So I 100% believe that you can do it, and keep pushing. As you said, Rome was not built in a day. Like when you start everything on the first month or the first year is the most challenging one, because you might think, oh my God, is this going to go on? Is this going to happen? Should I stop? That's when you start doubting yourselves. um, because you don't get like maybe many views, whatever, but the time will come. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then sometimes when it comes to you sending people messages, some people are like, oh, I can't make it. I'll make it. You know that as well. That can also be something that kind of brings me down
Yes.
sometimes. But then I just kind of like, okay, if this person can't make it, there's always a second option. So that's why I can have two-person for each day. So if person can make it, at least I can slot the other person into it, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay,
I think that's a good approach.
yeah, 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 because I can't just say, oh, because this person can make it, so I'm gonna cancel this Sunday. For
Oh,
me,
yeah.
that's not professional. And if I keep doing that, I'm gonna lose interest in this.
Of course, of course. It's all about consistency, and keeping that consistency is the most important thing. Because once you gain an audience, or you just have one person even listening to you every day, that
Yeah,
person is waiting for that discussion every Sunday. So if if somebody kind of like cancels and it brings your energy down, it brings your mood down, is quite kind of like and if you stop, you are also not giving what your audience or the audience you're trying to create, you're not giving them the content. So I would say, even if sometimes when people, the two people you look for cancel, you do like one session just with you, and you talk about all the things about yourselves. Talk shows are like that. Sometimes you have guests, sometimes you don't have guests. So you just focus on it. It's all about your one day, and your one day is trying to bring in other things. So let's go. I am here with you if you need anything.
Yeah, so let's start from, you're in Ireland to you moving to Spain. So how was life been like? What was the comparison there for you so far?
Um, it's quite different, it's and the difference between it is also, I won't say it's small, it's big. It's big
Okay.
in the sense of culture, it's big in the sense of food. The language is actually the biggest one too. The economy, the two different countries, a lot of things are very different when it comes to these two countries. Like for Ireland, I love Ireland, and Ireland is my home. Like I was born in Ghana. Ghana is the motherland, and Ireland is home. And I always have love for Ireland. You know, but then when I came to Spain too, you see the different kind of like things that as a human being you're naturally kind of like linked to. Um, the music wise, like I love music, and then you come to Spain, everywhere you go you hear music, not just like on the street playing, like I don't know, it's just different. It's different, and I would say that these two countries brings in their own different feeling or vibes. So yeah, it's been amazing. I'm enjoying this country, this beautiful country in Spain, and
Okay.
again, I enjoy Ireland as much as anything. Anytime I come over, so
Okay. Let's talk about, the racism. So
um,
let's say compare, we know it's everywhere, all around the Europe we have it. But let's do a bit of comparison, like when it comes to Ireland and Spain. Like, what is the situation there?
wow, it's
Okay,
it's so
let me
interesting.
put it this way. Do you feel there's more inclusion, like when it comes to culture of other people in Spain than it is here in Ireland?
Okay, okay. Wow, you went directly into the top. into the, yeah. Okay, I will start with the culture and then maybe go into the racism. Um,
Yeah.
Culture-wise, again, I would say it's different. Ireland, Ireland is a country that I say the people are friendly, and is bubbly and what I love about Ireland is that the people don't care that much, especially on certain things. So is but in Spain here too is kind of like similar. It's not like the people don't care; they all care about certain things they believe in. Or but the difference between these two cultures is that Spain is very warm. Warm. The people are very warm people. Ireland is like that, but it depends on which community or which kind of like environment that you're in. So you could be in maybe one area of like Dublin, and you could be the only black guy there, and that area could be like totally racist against like racism, discrimination, and then but you go to another area, and then the people are super excited with you, happy with you. So in Ireland, it's just in different sections. The culture is amazing. The people are warm, but different in which area you're in. In Spain, I have not experienced that yet because I am in Madrid. So and in Madrid, it's kind of like mixed. The people are kind of like mixed, and also even when I go to some places in the villages, the people are always like, "Oh, hello," especially if you speak English, So the in Spain, the people are warm based on I don't know. The people I feel that the people are more warm than Ireland in the sense of because Ireland it depends on which area that you live or you're coming from and how the society see you. So in that case, I will branch it into the racism, and that is when I talk more about where the differences comes in because, for instance, in Spain, racism is it depends. Racism is more in the form of a class, like it depends on like as a black person, they don't walking on the street, a Spanish person that goes, "Oh, black monkey, this go back to your country." Or not. You don't see that. You don't hear that. Maybe somebody will say to me but I don't hear the Spanish. I don't understand. But I've not experienced that. But it's more down to class. I see their racism is more down to class, I would say. Not by majority by skin color, but by class based on the fact that it depends on how you're dressed, how you look, you present yourself. Because there are some, for example, some black people that will present themselves like very, roughly, So when somebody see them, they will just tuck in their bags in the metros and that kind of stuff. But then if you dress very good, like in your suit and kind of like fancy, and it looks like the people are more comfortable with you,
Mm-hmm.
And but in Ireland, it doesn't matter. In Ireland is about the skin,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the dress you are or whatever. You are fucking black monkey and all like that kind of stuff. They will give it to you. So
Yeah.
this is where I talk about when you talk about the people in a way. The interaction between the people because in Ireland again, I will not say that everybody in Ireland is like that. It's all down to the community or the area or the part of Ireland you come from, So if you happen to be in for a place like let's say in Clondalkin or Tala. There are some sections in Tala where when you're walking past, you get a racial abuse. Like I've been racially abused in the area that in my house in Clondalkin, the area. There's a park. Every time that I'm going, there in that park, there's these young people that will be always saying racial slurs at me. A gun has been pointed at me before in that area. A motorbike was nearly run over myself and my brothers and sisters. That is in that area. But when I get to my house, that in my house, my estate, everybody is amazing with us. Our neighbors are incredible. They all love us. So that is why it's in Ireland. But here in Spain, I've only experienced one racial abuse, which is in the metro, and it was about during the COVID has started. And I don't know if you remember, there was a time where the Chinese government, there's a part in China that was saying that the COVID came from Africans, black people, and then they were kicking the blacks from their homes,
Yeah.
and they were not allowed to go
Yeah.
to McDonald's. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was in the metro, and one man on the phone said that there's this black guy with his girlfriend, and the girl is going to die because the black guy has the COVID. This kind of all those things, but apart from that, I haven't. So. But again, one last thing I would say about about the class thing, the racism about class in Spain was that there was a time I was in the metro and I dressed normally, I went to the metro just dressed like this kind of, and I was coming back and I see people. I'm sitting down, but there's a lot of space in there that somebody can come and sit beside me. But nobody came. Like they were actually literally sitting places where it's like stuff, and then there's
Very
space
funny.
beside, but nobody won. But then I was coming back to Ireland, and anytime I'm traveling, I need to make sure I look very good going into the plane. Because I came to realize that Ryanair, when you have hoodies and everything, the air hostess, they'll be like, good morning, good morning. But if you have like suit or you're dressed very good, oh, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. So I like to be called sir. So I was in the metro in Spain and going, and then this guy, when I sat down, the people were more like the same, but I was dressed very good. And this guy came into the metro and he was rapping. So the guy was rapping, and when he finished, he was asking for money if people can donate or give him money. and some people were giving €1, 50 cents, €2. So I look at how the people were looking at me. So I
Mm-hmm.
opened my wallet and I gave the person €20. And then the guy said, excuse me, can I give you change? And I said, no. And he said, are you sure? And I said, no, 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 keep it. And you one day, that instant, that kind of like what I did, as soon as I sat down, the person that was sitting beside me was super relaxed. A person that did
Wow.
this, now like this. Because they saw that, okay, this black guy is not this guy, he's rich, he's this, he's this. That's where I would talk about the social. For racism, it's more about social class in race in Spain
Yeah.
than maybe skin color.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know if you see this video as well. I saw this, was it on, I don't know if it's TikTok or Instagram, or was on a train as well. A black guy was sitting down, the man got in, and there was another white person sitting. He looked at the black guy, looked at the white guy, then he went to sit up beside the white guy. 2 seconds later, the white guy grabbed his phone and ran off. And then the black guy was just sitting there looking. He could have just sit with the black guy and nothing could have happened. But I don't
Yeah.
once he saw that color, I think he just read something wrong about the guy and went to see with the white guy. I don't know. It's just so bad. Okay, thank you so much for that. My next question will be, do you actually think, okay, when it comes to supporting, no, let's go back to, do you remember the George Ikencho thing that happened?
Yeah.
And we
Yes.
said on the news that there was no law, something like that, against like black, race law, something like that. Do you think what's called Spain has more law when it comes to like hate crime more than Ireland
Hate crime. You
when it
see,
comes to race.
racism is something that I say is everywhere, and for me, I cannot say Ireland has more or
Yeah,
Spain has less or Spain has more because I've literally been in here for like maybe a year or a year and a half. So
yeah,
and I am in the capital. Like the capitals or the big cities are kind of like more open, than maybe the small cities. So I've heard some news that in some small cities, like there is quite high, like racism is quite high there. It doesn't, maybe I don't know if they do with class or not. It could be skin color, it could be not. But I cannot say that Ireland is high, Ireland is low. All I can say is that in Ireland, we have been fighting for racial legislation,
yeah,
hate crime legislation for quite a long time, and still it has not been passed. A bill has not been passed yet. It was mentioned that we will be getting one this year. I don't know if
it was
it has been
mentioned.
acknowledged.
Yeah, that's what I saw from the video as well. Yeah,
So the hate crime legislation, the Inner Ireland, which is an organization that fights against racism in Ireland a lot. I kind of like I've done a bit of collaboration with them, who we fight to pass this law, and they have fought a lot. I've done a lot of interviews with them, and the last time I had a chat with one of the directors, which is Amal. Yusuf, which is an incredible person, and she said to me that during the COVID times, I remember the government have accepted, and a bill could be passed, like a racial legislation will be passed, and we have a hate crime legislation will be passed, and everything will be good. But I don't know it has been passed yet. And again, even if you have a hate crime legislation, meaning that, oh, if anybody does hateful things towards you or attack you or anything, it's a legislation. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stop. It depends on the
mm,
punishment that will come along with it. But look at it. There's a lot of punishments for specific crimes or specific days, but still people commit these crimes. So I cannot. It's a very difficult thing. I don't know if Spain have one yet. I am yet to. I am now studying their government. I'm learning their politics a little bit. But in
yeah,
Ireland, I'm hoping. I'm just hoping that it will pass and the people will take it seriously
yeah.
and it can help limit racism. But I don't know yet. We
Okay,
will see.
okay. Do you think African communities help each other enough when it comes to growing and creating activities for the children? Instead of leaving everything to the school and the government as they grow up. Do you actually
Um,
think,
I think no, no. Keep on talking. Well, if finishes, sorry.
or do you just think we just leave everything? Oh, they're going to school. They're going. The government have something for them set up in school, so that one is enough. Instead of us coming together as a community, teaching them the culture of where we come from as well. Do we do enough?
Um, I think I think it's 50-50, or maybe I would say, if I'm not being too harsh on the African community, I would say maybe 70-30. 70-30, in a sense of, in 70% the government is not doing enough to help the African community, and then 30, the parents are not doing, because of the support that the African community are not getting. The parents are also not being able to support their children in a way that maybe a white Irish or a different community would do. I do understand the question where you're coming from, in a sense of, when I, as a young person, our families, even if you're going to football match, your parents will, you want your parents to drop you in the football park and then support you in everything that you're doing, but they will just tell, no, no, you walk, take the bus. After school, walk home, or this and that, and focus on more on the school activities rather than maybe outside activities to help the children. But I can sympathize with them in a sense of that some African parents are working 2 or 3 jobs just to keep a house, just to keep a house kind of like sustainable in the house. So it's quite difficult. Not just even that. I won't only mention the African community, but also the traveler community also suffers from this also. So it's very difficult for parents to say that, African parents, sometimes they need to, I would say, they, in a way, they need to kind of like choose what is best for the family first before, and majority of the time, the children's activities becomes the sacrifice, So the parents will say, oh, instead of me paying, um, 200 euros or 300 euros, a month or a year for you to go to a tennis class or football or everything, that 300 euro can sustain us for like 2 months or 3 months at home for food. So these are the kind of things that the parents are suffering. So in a way, I will really focus more on how the government should focus on these communities and help us, because it's really difficult. Like, one day, it's difficult in a way when you and I, we will finish university, and then when we're finished, like, I don't know if you're finished yet, but when you finish, you are wondering, okay, you have so many ideas. Oh, I want to go and work. I want to go and do this. I want to go and do that. But then reality hits you. And when the reality hits you and you go, okay, I'm looking for a job I'm not getting because we don't have the kind of social, or what is the word? Social capital. The social capital that we need. Because in Ireland, as soon as a white Irish person get a finish, they know that their uncle have a job, and they might get their uncle's job or this and this. They know these people, but we don't. So we become like burdens also on our parents, income that they're getting because we don't have a job, and it's because the government are not providing the spaces or giving us ways that we can actually become entrepreneurs, in the community, and be able to help the community and create our own jobs and our own money, and to help. These things are not coming. So I would say 70-30, because the government are not helping the African community or the minority communities a lot. So in that sense, the minority community, which the parents have to make sacrifices, and these sacrifices majority of the time comes from, affect the young people. And then that means when they affect us, if our parents are not able to support us in our, maybe our goals and our visions, then that means our young people, we are not also going to develop or achieve our goals. So it's kind of like a domino effect. So from government, parents, children, our careers.
Okay. Okay, for the generations that are coming, what do you think can be done ahead of that for them?
the generations that are coming in.
So they have to experience some of the things that we experienced while we were, growing up here.
Um, I would say this generation is growing very fast. Like I would say, the phrase that I will use is they are getting old so young, old so young. So we are becoming
I will
old
support you on
so
that.
young. Pardon?
Yeah. I said I'll support you on that statement.
Yeah, so that basically, right now, a young person in a house, you are also becoming, maybe when you are 16, a 16-year-old should be thinking of maybe what they're going to do maybe in university, or 18-year-old should be thinking, okay, I'm going to uni, this is my career, I'm going to work on it, I'm going to push on it. Even if I get a job, that job that I have now is going to help me finance my education or help me rent a home or something in uni. But the also young comes in when the young people now, their income that they will use to even support themselves or to just have pocket money is also going into help their family, and that income that they get, they need to also use to pay house bills, also to support the house. They need to do this, they need to do that. And another thing that I will also, so in that sense, it's very challenging for the young people. But what I would say to the young generation now is they should stay focused. They shouldn't, they should stay focused and build a generational wealth. This is what I would say. Because our ancestors are not able to do that. We're not
Hmm.
able to do that. They did not get the opportunity to do that based on colonization. And our countries, like in our African countries, are not helping us because of corruption is big. So if these young people now, I see us more woke, like we know that, okay, this is what we want, this is what we want to achieve. So we should really focus on generational wealth, meaning we should work hard and and achieve something. And that achievement, we shouldn't just blow it. Like I've seen some young people in chains and like a 18-year-old, I don't know where they get the money from, is buying like big Mercedes and all of this. And I'm like, what?
When I
You
was
know?
18, I wasn't even thinking of that.
you know, when when I was 16, I was the main thing I was thinking of was to how do I apply for Facebook? You
Like,
know,
like, what uni do I want to go to? My
you
parents
know,
paid
but
for seminars and all of that.
that's the thing. But now I don't know where they get money from, but the money that they are attaining, they're also spending it. I don't know where they get it from. Maybe they're working hard, maybe they're entrepreneurs or whatever. But they're more focused on spending rather than keeping. Because in 20 years time you might be 18. In 20 years time, which is when you are 38, you might not have the same energy that you had as a young age. So if you blow your money now, in the 38 you might not have enough money to sustain yourself or to even to pass on to your children that will come, so they don't suffer the kind of suffering that you went through. So this is what I would say: we should stay focused, we should be determined, we should prevent ourselves from unnecessary violent things. Like one of the places where I really don't like, I feel like I like the country, I like UK, I like London, but I am when I see knife crimes, the rise of knife crimes in the country, and I see similar things kind of like happening in Ireland, and you can see the majority of the African community involved in that,
Yeah.
or specific kind of like things of like activities or crime that black communities are involved. It hurts me because I see that in the society we are deemed, we have a label already. We have that the people call us thugs, people call us criminals, people call us so many things. So when you take part in these activities, you are actually, do you know, you're actually proving to the people, making them right, even though it's not right. And this is something that I would say our generation or the next generation that comes from us, they should really think of that and move away from that. because otherwise the way that the label of the African community or the black community or the minority community, the way that they have labeled us,
Yeah.
if you continue or if you take part in these activities, you're justifying what you're saying and you're giving them the platform to say that, okay, now you see what, when we invited them to our country, what you're doing, the crime, it could be petty, it could be a small group, but they affect every single person. So what I would say is don't get yourself involved in any crime or things that will justify the label of the society on the African community or the black people, and also stay focused. Don't blow your money. Keep money if you happen to have one. If you don't have one, stay focused on achieving a goal so that you can build a generational wealth for the next generations, for your children to come or for your future. This is what I would say.
Okay. Let's talk about employment. Do you think the employment sector are biased for other ethnic groups?
Employment,
Like when it
employment
comes
is
to, let me give an example. So when it comes to
yeah,
employment, yeah, there's
yeah,
this thing that I don't know if it's right, but I know African parents always say this, like try and go into the medical line because that is where you are guaranteed to get a full job for whatever you study. But when you're going into something else, you could be staying at home for 2 years, 3 years, you know what I mean? And then you end up not
yeah.
getting even the kind of job you offered. Like I know friends that read law came out with a good result. She applied to a firm and she was being offered a secretary.
Wow.
Telling you, she was being offered a secretary job, even though she's well qualified to be a lawyer. So do you think when it comes to the employment sector is actually can they can be biased sometimes?
Yeah, there is bias in every form in our lives. Every human being, we have biases in ourselves. But when you are in the minority living in another country, there is racial bias. There is so many. There is gender bias. There is culture bias. So many biases. Um, so in the employment sector, what kind of like becomes the disadvantage of the black community is that um, we live in a country that they don't see us as part of them. So we are in a way in a disadvantage already. And one thing that I would say too is my father once said to me that Kelvin, do what you love. This is one of the best advice, and he's given me so many advices and they're all incredible, but one of the ones that really touched my heart, because it's difficult to hear African parents say these things sometimes. Oh, do what you love, because of the harshness or the place where we come from or the difficulties that our black community we are suffering. Um, the the parents straight away want us to achieve a goal, something that maybe they were not able to achieve. So they look into the sector and they say, doctors are making a lot of money. So I want my children to be a doctor. I want my children to be a lawyer. I want my children to be this. And then the child, you are going into these sectors or these places where you don't really love.
Yeah.
So I would say that one of the things that we should focus as in employment to help us is really as young people, first of all, do what we love. If somebody, I know that we all love Afrobeats. If
Yeah.
Wizkid is to be here right now and you ask Wizkid, what did your parents want you to be in the future? Maybe the parents wanted him to be a singer, but I promise you that not a lot of African parents will tell their kids, "Oh, I want you to be a rapper," you know. But it depends. It has to be the will of the child. That you have to kind of like go against your parents' will to achieve that goal. For them to, in a way, it's like you need to prove to your parents. So I would just say that the economy, the employment is, we are in a disadvantage because we are in Europe and biases and everything goes on. So sometimes you might have, as you said, qualifications, but they are not going to pick you because of your skin color, because of your, and majority of young people are changing now, changing their names just to get a job. Like if they see your name, like I'm sorry to all my Nigerians that are here, like because because your names are more stronger, African names. Where like let's say Michael Okafor. As soon as they see it on your CV, they go straight away. They see, oh, that's a black person, that's a Nigerian. No, we don't want that person here. And in that sense, that could deflate a young person. But what I would say to a young person is, if you don't get a job or your career job, one thing I want you to focus on is focus on what you love and do it and work towards it, because that is the only way. That is, I see that as the only channel where not nobody can prevent you. Like if somebody was to tell Wizkid or Shatawale or Beyonce that okay, you cannot be a doctor, and Beyonce goes, I'm a singer. Sorry, I kind of like messed up what I was trying to say. Beyonce is a singer, but if Beyonce's parents told her to go and be a lawyer, somebody in the firm can tell you, no, you're a secretary. I don't want to be you in my firm. But nobody can tell Beyonce, oh, you are not a singer. Maybe how do I say, a music industry or company, that want to sign her will say, okay, I don't want to sign you. But in nowadays, you can actually you can promote yourself. We have the internet. You have so many platforms that you can actually become an entrepreneur. So employment-wise in society is difficult, but I believe that as young people, we should really look at what we can achieve from individually ourselves and push towards it when the society is not giving us the platform or the opportunity. This is what I'm saying. I hope this answered your question. I'm sorry, anybody else that's listening, if it did not come clear.
Oh no, it's fine. You did answer proper. Okay, so in general, yeah, let's talk about growing up like as a black kid in Europe, either in school, workplace, your daily activities, just your experience, anything you'd like to share. Maybe something you would have done that you kind of regret, or something you've done that you like happy that, oh, I'm actually happy that I took this step years ago.
Um, so growing up, I came to Europe at the age of 13. And when I was coming, I have this so much dreams, so many like beautiful things that I wanted to achieve. Like as a young person, you watch, if you're in Africa, you watch the American shows, you watch English football, you watch so many things. So you think of Europe as the safe heaven. Everywhere, everybody wants to be there. Once I make it into Europe, my dreams are gonna come true. My my life is gonna be totally different.
Or
And
different.
and when I came, my first month came in August. My first month I entered into Ireland was when I got the reality check, and in school, it was in September, and at that time I was going to be 14, and you get that reality check is that way. You're in a different country, but in a country that some people operate on the word racism. I never I never heard of racism before. I never encountered racism before in Ghana, before I came to Europe. But then when you come, I was in this class, and a boy who always pick a fight with my little brother, and he always said to, like, he came to a class, when you're in primary school, your teacher leave and then you bring all the other class into your class to wait until the end. And the boy
Yeah.
was in the classroom, myself and my little brother, Christopher. At that time, Christopher was very young. He was in second class, and I was in sixth class. And the boy stood up in the classroom and said, "Miss, do you have a banana in the class? Do you have a banana?" And no, do you have a banana? And the teacher said, "Why?" And he said, "Because there's too many monkeys in the class." And
What?
the teacher, yes. And then the teacher looked at me, and I looked at the teacher. Like, to tell you the truth, we locked eyes for like about 30 seconds, but it was that long, but the teacher said nothing, you know?
Hmm.
And all the teacher said was, "Sit down," to the boy.
Hmm.
Sit down. The following day, teacher did not come to me and say, "How are you feeling in the school?" Did not go to my brother and say, "How are you? How is the school treating you?" My brother was getting an abuse in class all the time. So I remember one day my brother's bag was broken, and then his school bag. So the only extra bag we had in the house was a pink bag, and
Yeah.
I gave. So my brother Christopher didn't want to take a pink bag to school, and I gave him my bag, and I took the pink bag. And that day, I was praying that my mom take us to school early in the morning, so I go and I can hide my bag at the bottom, because I sit beside, in primary school you sit on a group table. So I was sitting beside a girl. So if I put my bag beside that girl, they might think the pink bag is for her or something. but, but what happened was that same day we were late. We were like 30 minutes late. We went, everybody was in the class, and I was
Oh,
coming, and then all the class, everybody in the class, you could hear, "Oh, he's coming."
oh
And then
wow.
you could hear because the window is open and you can hear, "Oh, he's coming." And then one said, "He's wearing a pink bag." And then you were like, "Ha ha ha ha." And then they're laughing, and you enter into the classroom, and you just have to keep that poker face, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's staring at you, everybody's like laughing, everybody's like, and you get that kind of like even playing on the playground. I've heard some young people come to me like I could tell that some friends or people that want to be my friends were genuinely asking questions that they did not know, things that they thought it happened in Africa. So, like, I remember
Yeah.
one friend came to me and said, "Oh, Kelvin, is it true that in Africa you guys sleep on trees?" You know, and then sometimes too, some of them when you're playing football, they will say to you, "Oh, bastard." They'll call you bastard, they'll call you idiot, they call you all of these names. So the Europe that I was craving for was totally different from the Europe that I attained. So
Yeah.
is as time goes on, as time went on, I was more like and receiving this hate that I did not understand where it was coming from. Um, I kind of like ended up becoming a bit. It made me a bit shy. I became shy. I
Yeah.
became a boy that I'm only bubbly in my home. I'm only excited when I'm in the house, laughing. I'm a dancer. I love dancing. I love communicating. And
Mm-hmm.
but the sad thing is when you go to school, then you are shy because you are afraid, you are scared of all of these questions that people are going to ask you, the way that people are going to treat you, the way. So as time went on, I just kind of like embraced it that this is the life. And the
Yeah.
sad thing is for a young person to feel that racism is now a norm, is something that they are experiencing in their daily
Yeah.
life is depressing. And now I tell my African people, friends, I am real with them. I said to them that, do you know what? Europe is not how you dream of it. You
Yeah.
know, don't. I am going to tell you the truth so that when you go to Europe and you're experiencing it, you knew that it was going to happen. You
Hmm.
know, there are moments of where there are people that are ready to embrace you. Like for me, when I moved to Dublin, in County Louth, I was in Donegal. Donegal was where I had a first experience. And then when I moved to County Louth, it changed because there was more black people in the schools. So County Donegal, you are the only black. And then you went on to be a lot of black, you could see the change. And when I came to Dublin, what Dublin happened was I was able to meet a lot of black people and Nigerians. That one thing I would say is Nigerians don't give a f.
No.
So I started like even though my grades were high, I focused on my grades, but when I moved to Dublin, my grades came down because my friends that I was with were more football and we enjoy life. We this And because of that enjoyment or that place, or I found that I was in a community that had been accepted, I didn't focus more on my grade anymore because I realized that I need to really found Kelvin, really to find myself. And then through them, I was able to, and in the schools, I went to all boys schools. There I was shy, still shy, but there was a moment of where I realized that Kelvin, you need to be who you are. And this is because of the friends that I was with, because I saw them really strong, confident, happy.
Mm,
And that was when I was able to come out, be myself, be confident, and through that I was able to find NGOs or organizations that are ready to help me find my voice to speak out. And so this is how my life has been in Europe. It started with racism, still in facing racism, but now with NGOs like National Youth Council of Ireland, Eurobug, Tala Community Arts, even the African churches, I would say, NGOs in other European countries. Through them, I have been able to use this hate and transform it into something that I am now using as an active a channel into something positive. Talk about hate, racism, and that kind of stuff. So, this was my journey, I guess,
okay.
in within Europe.
So like, how do we handle this? But I think you kind of talk about how you handle it as well while you were talking.
Yeah,
I
oh,
was just
how do you handle this
yeah,
hate?
yeah, like
Um,
what?
you just have to, like, one thing is always don't attack hate with hate, or
Yeah,
don't focus on the anger. There are genuine people, I promise you. There are a lot of young people out there that have been taught completely wrong.
hmm,
Sorry, they've been taught wrongly. They've been taught in their homes that black people are this, black people are that. To let you
yeah,
know, there are some moments in life where racism, the Bible was used to justify racism. You
yeah,
know, so
yeah,
there are some people where their generations, their mothers or their grandparents, also the way they were taught was wrongly taught. So they passed it on to their children. So there are
yeah,
genuine people that don't know and really want to know. And there are other people that are just hateful. So you need to kind of like put it in your mind that, you know what, I am receiving this hate. And first of all, find a comfort, a space where you can channel that into love. So for me, I use art. When somebody is being racist to me or something, I go to poetry. I write poetry, dance. So I go to this space where I feel confident, I feel comfortable, and then that space I look at how can I turn this space and teach people, and that is what I do. And by doing that, you are not just doing something that you love, but you're doing something that you love to educate young people. And always realize that, you know what, come to that realization that racism, as long as you are living in a country that is not your country, like it could be your country, you could be born in a European country, but as long as your skin color is different from the majority, you are in a way going to experience it, or your friends are going to experience it, your family member or somebody is going to experience it that's going to affect you. But you have to think of, okay, I'm going to use this, hey, channel it into something love, and then use this method to teach people so that it can limit. And so this is what I would just say how to handle it. Handle it in a way that you're not doing it hate for hate or going against, because if you do that, you're only fueling the kind of like the conversation or the hateful things, you know. Just use love, you know. For me, I always use love, and that's what I would say. Use love, find a method, and then educate.
okay, thank you. So now let's talk about your recent collaboration, yeah, which you were co-author to write a book called We Have a Dream. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, so far, like all I know about the book is available on Amazon. It's also in Japanese, if I'm sure. So if you can just give us a
Yeah.
little insight of what the book is about, and like your home part in the book as well, you know?
Okay. Yeah, the book is called We Have a Dream, and the book, my involvement came in 2000 and I think early or middle 2019. and it was, but the whole idea of the book came from an amazing friend. Now is I love this guy. He's called Taishi Ichikawa, and he's from Japan. And in his school, in his university, the I think there's the young people or one person also had this idea to talk about, to ask for the dreams of the young people in the university. I think in the university, a lot of young people, what their dreams are and they want to achieve. And he, with this book, he also realized, wait, what about if I write a book and get all the dreams of young people around the world? So I had a friend of mine from Albania. He contacted me and said, Kelvin, this is a kind of book that a friend of him, which is Taishi, is trying to do. And he was asking if I would like to represent Ireland and talk about the dreams of, as a young Irish person, what I would like to change or what would I like to see. And so the book is written by 201 co-authors who are all representatives of 201 countries. So there is 201 countries and a person representing all of these countries. And these are all young people talking about their dreams. And it's also linked with the Sustainable Development Goals. These are goals that is written by, set up by the United Nations, that we hope that the world, we can achieve it in 2030. And some of in these goals, all these young people, we kind of like select the goal that we actually we want to see achieved. So my page is on page 200, and I talk about an inclusive and accepting world where we are all being accepted, and kind of like talking a little bit about my story on how I came from Africa to Europe and a bit of what I've discussed here, and really pushing for an inclusive society and a world that we erase separation and individuality. So these are the kind of things in the book. It's a book that I say is a very historical book. Like it's a it's a history book. What I would say, because it's a book that you we are used to hearing politicians saying, "Oh, what are young people want? We don't know what they want. We don't know what they." But now I say that they have no excuse, because a Nigerian government can take this book and see, oh, this is what this young person in Nigeria is doing and wants us to achieve. This is the African president or the African Union can take and say, oh, these are all the dreams, or these are all the things that the young people in Africa want us to achieve. The European Union, or these are all the things that European young people right now are seeking for in Ireland, in UK, in Cyprus, in all of these countries, Spain, all of these. You have a young person who are working hard to achieve these goals, but at the same time asking and seeking for the support of the world, of political leaders, of change makers. So I will recommend every young person, or not just young person, politicians, youth leaders, youth workers, to go and get this book and see what young people are asking for. And because we are sick and tired, of, we always hear, oh, the youth are the future of this world, but then they
Yeah.
don't listen to us. They don't give us the platform to do that. But now there is opportunity to do that. So this is what basically the book is about, full of dreams, full of things that young people want to achieve in this world. And maybe you could be inspired also, yeah, to help
Oh,
somebody out there. So this is it.
okay. Um, so aside from dancing, yeah, I didn't know you
Yeah.
actually wrote poems until like recently when I think you posted, I went to your page and I saw in your bio as well that you wrote poems now. So like what bring that inspiration like?
Yeah, I'm a poet. I would say I'm a spoken word artist, and I write my poems is all about it's on four kind of like themes. It's about religion, it's about social issues, Some is about tribute. I write poems tribute to people that have encountered, that have made a change in my life, and also I have personal um, kind of like personal kind of like issues or personal things that I talk about myself, which is about love, about so many things. So these are the kind of like things that I write about, and but
Yeah.
mostly I focus on the social issues and tackling racial injustice, tackling talking about education, and using these methods because I believe in the power of arts. I believe that poetry, now politics need poetry, because it's a platform where young people can actually um, get their voices to be heard. It's not all the time that you can, in schools, if you remember in primary schools or even in secondary schools, they say, oh, we have culture night, intercultural night, or community culture night, and then they bring the Africans, play the drums, and then, or they
Yeah.
can say, oh, and you one day, do you want to talk about Nigeria? In in it's a culture, but it's not. Maybe you one day can do, but it's not all young people that have the confidence to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try
True.
to I try to use poems for myself. So I facilitate poetry, not just write. I facilitate poetry workshops to give young people a different way that they can get their voices to be heard, through writing, through poetry, through slam. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So, any future plans before we finish this?
Um, I would say, I would say my future plans at the moment coming up is I hope to keep on achieving my goals. My goal is to be like, I dream to be like Nelson Mandela,
Oh,
Martin.
yeah.
These are my inspirations.
I
My
should have. I
inspiration.
should have expect. I should have expect that. It's Calvin. I should have
You know,
expect that.
I am I am motivated and inspired by these leaders like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Jesus Christ, and Michael Jackson. Even though there is a lot of conspiracy about him, I don't care. These are my parents, but these are the people that really talk about social issues, and really want to make a change in this world, and really want to make a difference in a sense, in all kinds of ways, to fight for the minority. So this is what my dream is. I like to keep pushing and fighting for it. I have not attained it yet. I've got a direction where I'm going, but I've not attained this dream yet. I hope that one day, when I leave, when in many years to come, when God calls me, I know that when I can finally say that I made a change in this world, and that is the dream. Coming now, I'm doing spoken word poetry workshops. I'm doing
Okay.
I'm facilitating all the time about trying to get myself into spaces of where I can get chance to talk to decision makers, politicians, European leaders. These are the kind of thing I'm doing individually, but I'm pushing for it because this is what will give me the space and the platform. We cannot only sit on our comfort zone and hope that we can make a change. Sometimes you need to make the risk. Sometimes the risk could be leaving your home and going into another country, just like maybe where I am now. Or the risk could be you saving and buying something, So creating even a podcast is one of this kind of thing is one of them. So I am pushing,
Sorry to cut
seeking.
you off there, but I don't know why you don't have one yet.
What?
Why you don't have a podcast yet?
A
Like,
pod?
because
No, we have.
yeah.
I have a group called and it would be amazing if you come too. But yeah, I would like to invite you one day. The group that I have, we call ourselves is Yoruba Youth Chat. In general, it's
Okay.
called Spectre. So in this group, is a group that was set up in last year COVID times. So we are 1 year already, and we meet in Zoom, and we invite politicians, we invite activists from not just in Ireland, but in sometimes in America, sometimes in Spain. We invite young people like that are making. We talk about different topics, migration, gender, so many things. So depending on the topic is when we invite in the person, a guest to come in. So we've invited, like when talking about migration, we wanted to really know about how the direct provision, and anybody that is not from Ireland, direct provision is basically like the refugee centers, in a form of way how they're dealing with it, especially to moving from your country into that. And through COVID, we invited a young person here in Spain, her journey from from Sudan to Spain and seeking asylum. We've talked about, we have an amazing young person also in our group and hoping to continue, called Julie, and she's from the Dominican Republic, in South America, and it's a place where we don't normally hear or get to know what is going on there with the young people there. And she's also really pushing for the voices of women, the voices of young people. So it's a platform that we have set, and we talk on it there. So if anybody want to join these type of discussions, you can just let me know. Every Sunday, I will just put a thing on the Zoom, on Gmail, Instagram. Oh my God, Instagram. And then if you want to join, I can send you the link. So yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is my plans. Praying that God presents me more opportunities. So hopefully,
yeah.
maybe one day. I don't want to be a I don't want to be a politician. Now, I want to be a politician, but a politician that does not belong to a party. I just want to be somebody that stands in for the voices of the minority. This is who Kelvin wants to be, my dreams and my future. Yeah.
And I pray your dream come true.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. Yeah.
thank you so much. It's been amazing having you, talking to you. I mean, so nice talking to you again after, I think we spoke last month, or what was it that we spoke last again?
Yeah. Yeah. It's proof. I think so. I think last
It
month
was
or
last month, wasn't it? It was
yeah,
last
yeah,
month.
yeah, 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 yeah.
We were
But hey,
talking
the
last
people that
month.
did, yeah, and anyone that just came, like Yewande and I, we have been together for a while, We are Sunday school
We go
teachers.
way back. We go way
Sunday
back.
school,
Before you left me in Ireland.
no, Sunday school teachers, like, I think the only time kind of like we split was when the COVID
Yeah,
started.
yeah, was
Yeah,
when
so
COVID started.
we have been there. We have been grinding, pushing, talking. So yeah, if we are not just like we just met kind of like people, we are real blood,
No, your
Uh,
family.
yes, yes, yes,
And
forever, forever,
thank you.
and
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, thank you. I really
thank you for
appreciate it.
having me. Thank
When
you for
we're done
having
our
me.
Instagram, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I hope you enjoy it as well. I mean, because I really love the
Oh,
way you answered your questions and everything.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Anytime you're having a different topic and you want to have me on, I hope this is not the only time.
Oh no, no, no.
Um,
Back again, back again for another different topic, which does not have to do with culture. It's gonna be something different, out of your comfort zone.
yeah, yes, yeah. I think that this one you really made it easy for me because it's the channel where I
I
do
know.
and
I
kind
kind of
of
I think of what are the things that they're interested in, what do they do,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
know this are the kind of questions Kelvin is gonna really enjoy.
So I am very happy. Thank you so much for having me. Yolanda, I think you have started something amazing. And I am here to whatever you need to
Thank
support
you.
and to push. Because not a lot of young people, again, I repeat, we don't have places like this to get our voices to be heard. And for you to actually make the step to create a platform where the minority or the black community can get their voices to be heard is incredible, and I say thank you so much for that, and for representing our community and giving us the voices, and because it's not a lot, it's really not a lot places that we can do this. So thank you. Keep pushing, keep going, never give up. Even if there is one person that is viewing, let's make it more entertaining and educative for that one person. So thank you
Yeah.
so much also for having
Thank you
me,
so
and
much.
hopefully we
Thank
meet
you so much.
again. We hopefully we meet very soon, very soon. Yeah.
If you don't, if that's if you don't forget us here in Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. My regards to the family there in Spain.
Yeah, thank you. I will. Me to my regards to Sean. Oh, the name.
Yeah,
Wait.
gosh.
Yes. David, Joe, all of them. Like it's been a while. If they are there, I would like to wave to them. If they're not, tell them I send them my big
I'm just
hug.
here in Luxembourg. If you see Shem now, you won't recognize Shem anymore.
Oh my God.
You
I think the last time I saw him, he was tall, like super tall.
He's
You
more
know?
taller now. He's more taller now. Like when we are
Oh
walking,
my
people
God.
look like they I kind of had to.
Oh
I'm
my
actually
God.
the older brother. I'm like, I'm the older one. She was the younger one.
Oh my gosh. These kids are growing
Even
too fast.
Debbie is taller than me now.
Really? Like, what are they? What is your parents feeding them? Like, because
It's the same thing.
even Dobson is almost my height. Like, we are just this, this close. So, this he's almost taller than me, and he's 13. Like, I remember in the Sunday school, I used to kind of like when they come in and they're like they see that they're growing. Oh, Kelvin, let me look. Let me see your height.
Yes,
And then I'm taller than
yes.
them, and I'm like, yeah, you need to look up to me. Like this, you
But
need to
now
look up to me. But now I'm looking up to them.
it's
Oh
amazing.
my
I'm
God.
telling you. It's amazing how the kids are just like poof. I mean,
Yeah.
just
I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if it's the milk. I don't know if it's if it's whatever.
whatever it is
But
in this island, with especially the boys, it's especially the boys, like the way they all just grew taller. I'm like, where are you all growing to?
oh my God! Like even I don't know if you've seen Princess. Princess. You know
Oh,
Princess?
I've seen, yeah, I've seen braces as well, but I haven't seen her since
Yes,
COVID. Just the picture that I saw, I'm like, what?
yes. I saw her in Ghana and then she's tall. I'm like, Princess, last year I was holding you, throwing you in the air. Now
What
you're more
happened?
taller, almost on my height. Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen all of
Wow.
them since COVID. I haven't seen all of them since COVID. I've only seen Savannah and Tyrone. Even those as well, they're all tall as well.
Oh
You
my
know, because since
gosh.
COVID,
Oh my
it has
gosh.
been, so like I don't see much of everybody.
The the
But
the the life COVID is like COVID just stretched all of them
that
or
is
something. But hey, I guess they are growing and we are shrinking. No, I think every generation is like, because we are taller than our parents, and our parents at the time maybe would have been taller than their parents. So our brothers and sisters are now getting taller than us, and
I'm
it's
telling you.
like keep on going. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But say hello to them for me. Say hello to them. My regards.
Oh, no problem. I will. I will. Thank you so much for coming, Kevin. All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, that is all for today, and I'll see everybody next week. Thank you so much for joining. I love you all, and bye.